When did you witness someone's career end in a single moment? It happened after I fractured my foot while hiking in Portugal. I showed up at the ER, muddy, bruised, limping, with my clothes half torn from the fall. What I didn't expect was to be treated like less than human by Nurse Janet, someone who took one look at me and decided I was a homeless drug addict. Reception had kindly offered me a wheelchair. Janet yanked it away and told me I didn't need it and could walk just fine. Then she made me sit in the farthest corner away from everyone else. 10 minutes later, when an older couple walked in, Janet forced me to move again. It wasn't until I stood that I noticed. She was spraying down my chair with disinfectant, dramatically like I was diseased. Later, when I asked to use the bathroom to clean myself up, she said I wasn't allowed since I hadn't been processed. Then, in Portuguese, assuming I didn't understand, she warned reception to watch their stuff. She even called security to keep an eye on me. 3 new patients, all arriving after me, were taken in before she finally called my name. She made a point of asking me loudly in front of the full waiting room, "Are you just here for pain meds?" Then, she forced me to stand during the entire assessment, even though I was clearly in agony. She rolled her eyes, took my vitals like I was contagious, and sanitized her hands for 30 full seconds afterward while glaring at me. Then came the cruelest part. She made me hop back to the waiting room without assistance and muttered, "Better hope you can pay. I don't treat your kind for free." An hour later, she dropped my forms on the ground and claimed I filled them out wrong. When I bent down to pick them up, she kicked them farther away. I had to struggle on one leg to reach them while she stood there laughing. She kept this up for hours. When my leg cramped from standing so long, I asked another nurse for a chair. Janet brought one over herself. I thought, maybe she was finally helping. She wasn't. As I reached to sit, she set the chair leg down directly on my fractured foot. I screamed. Then she pulled the chair away, letting me fall hard to the floor. She walked off chuckling, telling me to be more careful. When I later hobbled to the water fountain to take some over the counter pain meds, Janet came running and shouted that I was taking drugs. Security grabbed me. She yelled that I was faking the injury and demanded I prove it by jumping. When I refused, she told security to drag me out. As they pulled me toward the doors, an ambulance arrived. The trauma team rushed past me, wheeling in a man whose chest had been ripped open. I heard them shouting about a ventricular rupture. Someone said the cardiac surgeon was still 30 minutes away. The patient had maybe 20 away. That's when I turned around and limped straight back into the hospital. Janet saw me and screamed at security to stop me, but I looked her straight in the eye and called out loud and clear, "Verify medical license number 4629J now." She froze, pulled out her tablet, typed it in, and there it was, Dr. Jonathan Roford, chief of cardiac surgery. The moment my official photo came up, her jaw dropped and her tablet hit the floor. I didn't acknowledge her. I simply said, "Prep the table," and made my way to surgery. Someone from the trauma team offered me a special stool after noticing my limp. I spent the next 14 hours saving that man's life. When I finally stepped out, exhausted and limping, Janet was standing nearby, tears silently running down her face. I didn't say a word to her, just asked if someone could finally take a look at my foot. The next morning, I got a call from the hospital's CEO. He apologized profusely and then asked off the record what I thought of Janet. I told him the truth. She was discriminatory, medically livid, and dangerous. She denied care based on appearance, and in doing so, she risked lives. Janet was terminated within 2 weeks. She's never worked in a hospital again, and she never will.